Hello everyone, this is Pat from PSA Custom Creations, and for this video I'm going to try to show how the striker and coatings on the striker affect the sound. I'm using a large welding cylinder as a bell. I've got someone who wants a particular sound for the bell, and I'm trying to show how the coating on the striker, or lack thereof, is going to change the sound. So the cylinder I'm using is a welding cylinder. It's about 4.5 feet tall or so. This is about 3/16 of an inch thick. This is one of the big 300 cubic foot welding cylinders. Nice, thick, heavy duty cylinder. It's got a really nice sound, but it's going to take a decent amount of force or a decent amount of material mass in order to get this to sound. That's why I'm using the pieces of metal. Could you try to use something different? Potentially. I'm going to end up chasing my tail trying to find the different types of material, whether it's high density materials, plastics, etc., wood. On these, I've actually found metal seems to work best. It just, for my sound at least, I like the way it does sound. Putting a coating on there, as we're doing, will help change the sound slightly, but you do need a good amount of material or mass in order to hit the bell and to get a good sound that actually carries from wherever it is to, say, maybe where you're sitting at or your house. So what I have here to demonstrate is a plain metal disc, a disc with some ugly duct tape or 100-mile-an-hour tape. This has got some foam weather stripping on it, and this one has a leather belt wrapped around it. So you're going to have different densities, whether the real sharp impact sound, a slightly less of an impact sound, a much softer sound, and then a considerably softer sound from the leather. The issue you run into with these strikers is that the more material you have on the outside, the harder the striker has to hit the bell to give you a given sound. Now the best sound is all relative to what a person likes or wants. I found the sharp discs, or the discs, make a nice sound with the amount of wind that's available. Now I'm going to try to use these strikers handheld to show you what the bell sounds like if I just hit them. A decently sharp impact sound. Slightly less of an impact sound. Insulation. A mellow sound, but again, you're going to take more wind or strength to hit it. Leather belt. Nice low sound, but again, that one's going to require quite a bit of wind in order to give you the sound. So right now I have the metal disc on the side of it with a circular wind catcher. So if there's some wind, right now I have my striker with the 100-mile-an-hour tape on it, wind catcher. There's like zero wind today, so I have to do this all by hand. I do have a video from the other day with a little bit of wind on here where I actually had the 100-mile-an-hour taped catcher on it. I'll try to include that a little bit later on. This is the striker with the insulation on it. Same wind catcher. So the issue with the insulation is it's so soft that it takes a lot of force, a lot of wind to really get this to move. That disc on the inside is almost the same diameter as the others. Now if I try to do it by hand, it'll work, but it takes a lot of force in order to make the sound. This is the one with the leather belt wrapped around it. Again, due to the thickness of the belt, or density of the belt, it takes a lot of wind to really make this thing go. If you were to hit it a little bit harder, put your hand up inside and try to do it. It's gonna have a nice sound, but again, it just requires a lot of wind. Now, another thing that will affect a sound of a bell such as this is the length of the string and the size of the wind catcher. This wind catcher is almost the same exact diameter as the bell. Nice thin material, so it will move in the wind. The length of the pendulum affects how the bell sounds. You can lengthen or shorten this depending on the prevailing winds where you're at. Without knowing exactly where you're at and how strong the winds are, it's hard to for me to figure that out. You'll have to sit there and tie it up shorter or longer, etc., whatever you need for your particular area.